So my name is Dominic. I'm a co-founder and the COO of Vella. And what we do is we deliver precise, personalized cleans on demand. Chore is a fractional chief of staff, takes care of the work that I don't really want to do myself. I would say that it allows me to work on, like, the pain point is that you have all these objectives or milestones you want to hit as a startup, as a growing startup. And there are things that only I can do. And then there are things that I, without Chore, have to do that need to be done, but that someone else could do. So the pain point that it solves is much more capital efficient way to remove those things that someone else can do so that I can do the things that only I can do. Rather than hiring someone full time, Chore allows me to take care of those things on a fractional basis. So key admin tasks specifically with HR, the manual work required to onboard a new employee, to make sure that all their documentation is properly organized, categorized, and completed, and making sure that we stay legally compliant while we do those things. That's a huge thing. Another thing that Chore does that's really big for us is Chore manages our pretty sizable housekeeper compensation payroll. So there's about 500 individual payroll records per week that need to be validated and properly administered through our HRIS system. So Chore does that, and that saves a ton of time. Well, I would say like on a weekly basis, probably at least like 5, if not like 10 hours a week. So it's a lot. And then on a sort of like a more recent development was we just transitioned from an old HRIS system, trying it to a new system, Rippling. And normally a transition like that for a system like that would have monopolized all of my time. And I barely had to do anything. And the transition was totally seamless, went off without a hitch. We hit our first, we ran our payroll on time. So that check date that we had originally set out to complete the transition, we hit it exactly. No hiccups or headaches. And Abby at Chore took care of all of that for me. I had to do almost nothing. Definitely growth, just generally speaking, leading growth strategies and finding new creative ways to continue to grow our GMV. We're currently raising money, so that's, again, takes a ton of work and time, and only I can really do that. So that's another thing that I've been able to spend a lot more time on, and just have sort of the peace of mind that the blocking and tackling of the business is being taken care of while I work on things that could be considered, more high level. To hire somebody to execute at Chore's level would probably cost, 3 to 4 times what we pay Chore. So back of the napkin math, the ROI there is 3 to 4x. I mean, doing most of the work myself. Again, we're in the middle of raising money, so post-raise, I guess we could have brought on someone, to take care of those types of tasks full time. It won't be necessary now. We'll probably just continue to scale our arrangement with Chore as the need continues as the business grows. But yeah, there really was no alternative. I mean, it was either, and I think our CTO actually, and I don't remember exactly how he found Chore and brought it to me and was like, hey, we should take a look at this. But I didn't know that something like this was even an option before that. I would feel definitely overwhelmed, maybe even take it to fear would be my first response, and stressed, definitely, because again, like, the type of work that Chore does is stuff that I just don't think any founder ever wants to do. Nobody goes into like, I'm going to start this, I'm going to go make a dent in the universe, and I'm going to spend my doing HR admin work, or making sure that filing your documentation properly, or storing files properly, or documenting business processes, things you don't even really know you're going to have to do until you actually start a company. Just transparently hate doing that stuff, and I would way rather have someone else do it. I would be disappointed, to put it mildly, if Chore disappeared tomorrow. I would say that, any founder is somebody who is highly ambitious and willing to bet on themselves. And with that said, it's easy to decide, oh, well, I can take care of this myself, because you want to just like, kind of carry the load of as much as possible. And you want to push yourself hard. And you're already kind of mentally wrapping your head around, oh, I have to work, 80, 100 hours a week to build this company. So it's like one more task kind of seems like, not that big of a deal. But to the systems point about things being on autopilot, nothing is ever truly on autopilot. Like there has to be some type of human intervention, even if it's just a maintenance task. And that's, exactly what we're experiencing with Chore and the payroll thing. Like our payroll calculation is technically completely automated, but it's never 100% accurate, and there's always fact finding that needs to be done to validate if somebody thinks they're paid incorrectly, or if for whatever reason the report doesn't load properly in time to make the payroll deadline. That's got to be, somebody's got to run point on that. And then to the point about taking on the task, I would say that you're just kind of taking out like business debt, because eventually your workload's going to get so large that you can't take care of that task anymore, and then it becomes an emergency that you then need to quickly find a replacement for, versus if you just scaling your operation around a function like Chore early on, then those things never become a problem. I mean, I don't think anything is ever, operations work isn't ever done. That's definitely true. And again, I think that most of the pain that comes in operations happens on the margins. So it's something you can look and feel like it's done, but you can't actually say with 100% certainty that everything is 100% complete. And again, because the pain occurs on the margins, bridging that 1% gap is critical. No, and in fact, when we first onboarded Chore, I was like drowning in work, and so I was frankly not that responsive in Slack, and I was continuously followed up with until I got a response, and I'm better about it now because I want to support the Chore team more, but mostly because I appreciate what they're doing. But Chore is extremely proactive and requires basically no training or management. I mean, I don't think, other than just explaining at a high level, this is what we're trying to accomplish. Chore doesn't require training at all. Everyone that I've worked with has already had this necessary skill set. I would say get Chore as early in the life cycle of your company as you possibly can. It's not that expensive. Even when you take all of these, ROI and like hidden costs out of the picture, it's just like the entry point, the entry price is not that high. It's very affordable. And if you bring it into the foundation, you can set up your business in a way that it's going to just function astronomically better at scale. I definitely wish that I'd brought it on sooner. I just really appreciate everything the Chore team has done to help Vella grow. And I look at the arrangement with Chore as a long-term partnership, definitely not a temporary solution. So I will be a customer for a long time.